amazing you. Thanks for joining me. I am your host, Crystalette Vassal. Welcome to the show, Impact Marketers. For network marketers, by network marketers. On today's show, we have an absolutely amazing guest who has been able to, under 6 months, generate a 5-figure income from her network marketing business. We're going to be having a beautiful discussion to find out just how she has been able to do this. Please help me welcome Michelle Tufford. Let's jump right into today's interview.
All right, Michelle. Right, so tell us a little bit about your journey, because when you and I spoke, you shared quite a bit about your actual journey here in the network marketing niche. So please go ahead and tell us how you got started, why you got started, why in the world did you say yes to this industry when so many people are afraid of the industry and you were bold enough to say yes, and what kept you going? Just tell us about the journey per se.
Yeah. I'll try and keep it like straight to the point, not too long story, but basically my journey in network marketing started quite a long time ago, before there was any like social media marketing with network marketing. And I was doing the home party thing. And I mean, that was a good start. I mean, it was a great model. I made some extra income, but man, the hustle of booking party after party, it just became more than I wanted. So I ended up stepping out of network marketing. I thought that I was kind of done with the industry. Started my own other businesses. I've always been an entrepreneur spirit. I have multiple businesses that I've started. And, but what happened for me was when social media really came into play for network marketing, I saw people leveraging social media marketing. And I thought to myself, this is a way you can leverage the industry without having to do the home party thing. And I just thought it was genius. I've always loved the network marketing model, the leverage and building some passive income. And I saw some people doing it quite well from social media. So that's really what piqued my interest to step back into the industry, and quickly realized that social media marketing isn't as easy as it looks. At least that's how I felt when I got into it. But yeah, that's really how I came back into the industry, and ended up working out quite well. Very happy to be here now and stuff. So that's how I got started.
All right, so you got started a few years ago in the industry, but then it got a little bit too much, right? It felt at that point like you were probably putting in a whole lot of effort and probably not getting the returns that you really wanted to get. Yeah, and this is a common thing.
Yes.
Common thing.
Yeah. So what happened was, not only was the social media marketing side kind of, I was like trying to figure out the ropes of how do I get leads? How do I create content that's really going to attract ideal clients to me? All of those things. I invested in some training, was able to figure out some of that, but was running into the fact that in order to really make the kind of income goals that I wanted, which when I got started, it was 5-figure months, like that was on my radar. I thought if I could do that to bring in that kind of income from home, to have the flexibility to be with my kids and make that kind of income, that was the goal, right? That was the goal. But man, with kind of that model of having to sell hundreds of products or build a massive team, it was daunting, overwhelming to me, the thought of building this massive team. People were doing it, but I knew it was going to take a lot of time and energy to get there.
All right, so what transitioned? Because as it is now, you have actually gotten to that income goal, and you did that in a little under 6 months. People like she has literally been able to get to a 5-figure income from her network marketing business in less than 5 months, and this is definitely not a common thing, right? This is
right. Yeah, it's not common,
right? So you are doing something a little bit differently. So tell us, what are you doing that some of the others just aren't?
Yeah. So what I recognized once I started really learning the skills and strategies of marketing and really leveraging how to brand myself and really lead with value, I started recognizing, okay, if I spoke a clear message to a specific audience struggling with a specific pain point, that's really what made me magnetic. It wasn't my business. It wasn't my products. It was me communicating the value to someone else, right? Transferring trust, transferring value. They see that what I have is providing a solution to something they're struggling with. So once I learned that, I recognized that I could be strategic with my brand offers and the solutions that I had to bring to the table. So even though the network marketing business that I started with, my ultimate goal with that was I wanted to make the income, right? But what I realized was that business really wasn't in alignment with my goals, because like I said, I was going to need to build this massive team, sell to hundreds of people. And it was actually a makeup business, which is funny because I'm a little bit of a tomboy. So even the makeup thing really wasn't for me. So I shifted, recognizing like it was about branding myself and providing solutions. And I got to choose which solutions I wanted to provide for my audience. And I saw this opportunity with adding something high ticket. So a lot of what I talk about in my message now is the power of adding something high ticket to what you're already doing, right? We're on social media. We have an opportunity to provide solutions to our audiences. Why not provide a solution to an audience that's solving a really big pain for them, right? And I align myself with some high ticket offers, a high ticket network marketing business, where now I didn't need near as many sales to hit the 5-figure months that I wanted, right? I only needed 2 to 5. Now I'm at a point where I only need 2 to 5 sales to hit a 5-figure month. So for me, that seemed way less overwhelming to me.
You're giving us a lot. You're giving us a lot right there, and I want to dissect it for the audience to ensure that they're not missing the different pieces. I'm going to get back to it, but you said a lot right there, and I really want to make sure that we are pulling those pointers out so that nothing gets left behind. All right. So you mentioned the power of creating value. Right? A lot of persons don't even really recognize, they know this is important because they've heard it said over and over again, but it doesn't seem to transition from a place of knowledge to a place of real transformation where they're actually putting out content and giving people actual value, doing something just a little bit different from everybody else. Right? You also mentioned the power of branding. The power of branding. And yes, you mentioned just becoming magnetic to your audience and not so much focused on what you were selling, but more so focused on becoming a clear version so that persons could relate to you. So you did mention branding being super, super important. And when we spoke about the concept of soul-to-soul marketing, right? Soul-to-soul marketing being where you're pretty much putting yourself out there and you're being your true, authentic self in all its realness. And we attract the people who are designed for us, connecting at a soul-to-soul level. And that really goes down heavily to branding. So I'm happy that you pulled that point in there. You also mentioned the concept of trust, right? Becoming trustworthy for your audience, which is a super, super important thing. And this is why a lot of persons are struggling in the online space. Because a lot of persons, they are trying to get to the sale before they get to the point of developing trust. Agree or disagree?
Agree. 100% agree. Yeah, I see it so often where people are leading with buy my product, but not really communicating like, well, how is that going to serve me? How is that actually going to trust me? And why should I trust you too, right? Like you're telling me that I should buy this product. Why should I trust you? So that's where recognizing that, the branding piece comes in and sharing like more of the reasons why and educating more of the reasons why versus buy my thing, right? And you're wondering, why people aren't really reaching out to you, it's because they don't know the value. They don't know how it's going to serve their life. Right. And they're not sure if they trust that what you're providing is actually going to solve a problem for them. Right. So really positioning yourself as a leader in the industry, positioning yourself as a problem solver in your specific niche so that people build that trust with you. If you're educating them and teaching them about, say you're in a health and wellness network marketing business, for example, position yourself as a health and wellness expert, teach them some things, help them see that you care about them, that you actually want to help them overcome the things that they're struggling with.
Right. So. Super important. I can't overemphasize just how important that is. I think some persons, when they get in the online space regarding their business, they forget that the basis of network marketing is that of relationships. Mm-hmm. Network marketing in its purest sense was really built on relationships because traditionally how persons built a network marketing business was through leveraging their present network, people who already knew, like, and trusted. So I don't understand why we expect it to be different when we get into the online space. It's still the concept of know, like, and trust. People still have to know, like, and trust you for them to feel comfortable doing business with you, right? It's just that things can happen at a faster pace, right? And people, you can be building relationships without even knowing it. You shared this with me that you had someone following you for about sometime over a year or so, right? And you had no idea. Yep. So sometimes
it happens to me all the time now. People reach out to me and tell me they've been following me for the last year. And it's the first I've heard of them. So it's people will watch and follow for a while. That's why consistency is so key. Consistency, not only in your content showing up, but consistency in your messaging. Because if you're all over the place, one day you're talking about, skincare, and the next day you're talking about weight loss, they're like, well, what is it that you actually do? Right. And so that's why having a clear, consistent message is so important.
And that again ties powerfully into branding because your message and your branding, they all align so beautifully together. We're hitting some good stuff. You spoke about solution, just ensuring that you are focused on being solution oriented. You said it in a slightly different way, but hey, saying pretty much the same thing. Focusing on solving a solution for your clients, for your audience is super important. So one of the things we have to do is forget about us. Forget about, and you mentioned this, that you had this goal, right? And at one point you were just focused on the goal. We are all like that. We're guilty, right? Because we're going to be selfish beings. That's who we are. We're selfish beings. We're going to think about our self-interest. But whenever we're able to take ourselves away a bit from our own interest and start focusing on other people and start focusing on what we can give instead of what we can receive, then something starts to happen. There's a shift in the energy somehow. And I guess the law of giving and receiving steps into play and things just start working out beautifully because there's a change in the perception in terms of how things are handled. And now it's really just focused on the solution, which is beautiful. You mentioned another strategy as well, which was to shift what you were selling to ensure that it was something that was in alignment with you. Now, I have to talk about this. We have to talk about this a little bit more because this is a very crucial piece of the puzzle. A lot of persons are struggling to grow their business because it's not in alignment with them. And I can put my hand up there and say, I've had this experience, right? Just not being fully in alignment with what was being promoted, it's totally different. You're unable to go all in and you're just not authentic. When you are truly in love with what you are serving people with, it naturally flows through you. It's almost we feel like we can fool people, we can fool ourselves, but it's not so. So talk a little bit more about that, because I really want that point to hit home for persons, because there are a lot of persons who are selling products or services that they're only halfway in, 70% in, but you really need to be fully in love with your products and services.
Yeah. And it really comes down to a strong belief, right? Because I believe that magnetic marketing really has to start from a place of like, what is it you believe to be true about what it is you're offering? You have to believe in your solution so much. Like if there's doubt in the back of your mind, I'm not sure if this is actually going to solve something for someone. It's just not going to come through with that kind of authenticity, as well as being able to transfer that trust. It has to come from what it is you believe. Like it has to be something that you want to like shout from the rooftops. Like I tell my coaching students this, like whatever that thing that lights you on fire, that you just know that people need to know about this. Like when you talk about it, people just listen. They can't help it because they feel your fire, they feel your energy. And so finding and aligning yourself with the business that you really believe is going to solve something for yourself or for your clients, like that's more like in alignment, right?
Right. That's 100% on point. I totally agree with you. 100% that we really do have to authentically love what we are serving people with. And I just love the way you put it, in that we have to be at that place where we just want to shout it from the rooftops. We're so excited about it because we know it's going to cause a transformation in other people's lives. We really have to truly believe that. If you're selling something that it's a little, not fully there for you, then it's very difficult to go all in. Yep. It's very difficult to sell someone and something that you are not fully sold on yourself. Sure, you're going to get some people, right? Because the law of averages, they'll pop into play. But you may not get them as much as you want or as quickly as you want, right? So that's a very powerful pointer right there. I also want to bring home the idea of social media marketing generally, because what you shared initially is that when you got going with network marketing in the initial phases of things, you were doing the home parties and you were doing your thing, but that got a little bit too much. There are a lot of people who are still doing business that way. And even when COVID hit, persons were still trying to do that, but a lot of persons recognized that there had to be a different approach to this thing. And so, though there are significantly more people who have transitioned online, unfortunately, a lot haven't, and a lot who have transitioned simply aren't doing it right. Because believe me, my DMs are blown up every single day with people just doing a mess, with people just doing it ridiculously wrong, right? And I just want to say, oh my God, this is not how you do it. And I preach it over and over again and try and show how, but oh my gosh, it's a lot of mistakes being made with marketing online. But it's significant that persons really look at doing their business in the online space. I'm going to guess 100% that you agree with this based on what you do, right? So let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. It's like I said, the home party thing really wasn't for me. And we're limited, right? Like we have this ability with social media marketing to reach so many more people with the time and energy that we have to put into our businesses, right? It's like working smarter, not harder, right? Like I'm all about that. Like how can we optimize our time and energy, right? Like let's make more money for the time and energy that we're putting in. So you can reach so many more people with social media, right? So But it is something that learning the right ways. And I experienced that too. I getting DMs from people telling me that I should buy their product. And again, it's someone who's leading with, I want something from you. Like, that's how I feel. They're asking something of me before they've given anything to me, right? I want value from you first, right? So that's what I love to teach people, is like, lead with value so that people automatically see you as someone that can help them solve the things that you specialize in, right? Like, position yourself as a problem solver through your products and business, and not the spamming people and telling people to buy your product and join your team. That doesn't really work anymore. It used to, but it doesn't anymore. So being able to shift gears and really brand yourself through the social media marketing is really where people are going to need to really embrace that in order to see success in this industry, especially now.
Right. And that just leads me to the idea of authentic relationships. Now, if you are building relationships with persons and the only thing you're thinking about them being is a downline or them buying a product or a service from you, that's not the right energy, because it's still focused on getting. What about the giving? Right?
Yes.
The giving is very important, and it's a totally different kind of energy when you are authentic about a relationship than when you have a motive about the relationship. Right? You don't, not because your business is based on people doesn't mean we have to become a number for you. Right? And when you give that type of energy off, because it's in the conversations, it's how the conversations are structured, and you just feel it, right? Everything is just leading you somewhere. They're just asking some questions, or they're saying some stuff, and they're leading a direction. Come on now, people, be authentic about it, because some people, it's not going to ever be a product or service that you sell to them, or they may never become a downline. But what about friendships? Friendships are just absolutely beautiful. And through those friendships, they may lead you to somewhere or to someone who you would not have ever been able to interact with outside of it. So stepping away from that kind of a mentality, I feel, is just very important.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. And it just, makes me reflect back to even our conversation together. It was just a hello, like, we're friends on Facebook. Like, what is it that you do? And we just got into having an authentic conversation with each other about what we do, which then led us to this point where now we share a passion, and we're here together. But that happened so organically, and that's the way social media marketing is supposed to work. That's how conversations should be. So even if you are getting into someone's DMs, like, just come at it from a place of, hey, like, let's connect. Let's find out, like, what is it that you do? What do you do? And if you have something mutual that you can, work with each other on, awesome, right? But there's no expectation going into it that you're going to sell something or that somehow, that they're a number, like you said. Like, let's just be human beings and be, relational with each other.
100%. And you can, like I said, you can just feel the difference in the conversation. So for me, whenever I'm interacting with someone, that's never the thought in the back of my head. I know that once we are sowing the seeds, we're bound to reap a harvest. So I'm not usually so worried about the harvest, but this is a mindset thing, which leads into another part of our discussion, mindset. This is all a mindset thing. How crucial do you feel mindset is in succeeding in your network marketing business, in business generally?
In business general. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this industry is, it's so interesting how it really requires you to, it uncovered a lot of things in me that I didn't know. that I struggled with especially with social media. I feel like you put yourself out there and there's this fear that a lot of people have about putting themselves out on social media, like fear of judgment, fear of, maybe like taking some messy action. It's not going to be perfect. It's an ego. It's very ego based, right? And oftentimes we think ego is somehow, we look at people who are full of themselves and we're like, oh, they've got a big ego. But honestly, I feel like the people who have the biggest ego are the ones who don't show up because they're afraid of what other people think. That's my, I learned that. I realized that I had a very big ego in the beginning because I was so afraid of what other people thought of me. I was so afraid to look bad, right? So when I realized that, I had to check my ego, that mindset of fear of what other people think, and then realized that me not showing up was me holding something back from someone else who needed what I had. So I was withholding the value that I could bring to the table because of my ego. So that was a perspective shift that really woke me up and made me realize all the people I saw out there who were seeing success and putting themselves out there, they weren't the ones with the real ego, it was me. So just a little wake up call if you're maybe in that space right now and you're listening to this and thinking, okay, all right, I need a little ego check, and realize that you do have value to bring to the table and people need you to show up.
That's a powerful perspective right there. That's like a major shift, because like you said, there are a lot of persons who are afraid of showing up, just not getting on the video, not doing the live, not posting the story, not doing it because they're afraid of what other people are going to think. And a lot of the times it's, what will my friend, what will who or whatever be thinking? Because I've met a lot of persons in the online space because I'm working on, online is my job. Right, I'm literally online for the majority of the day because this is my territory. Right, this is where I'm hanging out, and so of course I'm meeting hundreds, I'm meeting thousands of people actually, right? And in a lot of the conversations, one of the things I find that a lot of people are just so afraid of is jumping on video. So what we are doing right now, a lot of people are so afraid of just doing it. A lot of persons have never done a live. They have never really put a video out there. Right? It's just a lot of fear behind it. And what you shared just now puts a twist in terms of the perception. Right? And there are a lot of persons who are struggling with a lot of limiting beliefs about themselves. Right? There are a lot of persons who just feel like I'm not good at this or I'm not good at that. And you make these lists of things that we're not good at. But there is something I heard something some time ago that I took hold of. And the question was, when did you decide that you weren't good at this? Because that was a decision. You weren't born that way. None of us were. So when did you decide to be this person? And stopping to recognize that, hey, that was a decision. And hey, I made that decision. And if I made that decision, I can make another one that counteracts this one. Right? And it's putting ourselves in the environments that help to shift and move us towards that different frame of thinking. But mindset, oh my gosh, mindset is super, super, super crucial. Like I say all the time that you can literally teach someone everything they need to know about being successful. All the way down to crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's and teaching them everything. But if the mindset is not shifted as well, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So it's really a big part of it is a mindset thing.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, one of my favorite books is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm sure. Have you heard of it? A good one. It is. And it's just like he talks about the fact that you need to take action that's in alignment with the person that you want to become, right? And you have to get outside your comfort zone. The same is true with if you're planning on building a business on social media marketing, the action steps that are in alignment, that are the person who's seeing success in this industry, what you need to do. So, and you have to back that up with taking those actions to believe it, right? Like you're going to start believing it more the more you are taking actions in alignment with that person, right? It's not going to feel comfortable at first, but the more you do it, the more it'll feel natural, and the more that you'll be able to get your mindset right around really believing that this is who you are, right? You are a person who sees success in this industry, but you have to take actions in alignment with that.
Powerful, powerful. Goes right back to the self-image. Seeing yourself in alignment with that. You have to literally, Bob Proctor is famous, at speaking and sharing a lot about the self-image. We have to literally see that person, write that person out, and come and act that person. We have to see who, and you just said it perfectly. We have to see who that person is, and then just start taking the actions of that person. Because once you start taking those actions, that's who you are, literally. That's who you have become. And it's some simple stuff, simple but difficult. Isn't that crazy? It's so simple, but yet it's so difficult, right? But I'm super excited that we've gotten the chance to pop on here and to just give so much value to the audience. If you were to say something to someone who is at that place of struggling their business, because at this point, you have been able to hit the goal that you've set for yourself. Mm-hmm. And more than likely, you've set some other goals and you're striving after some other powerful, beautiful things, right? Mm-hmm. But for someone who probably has not yet been able to create even say a solid 4-figure income just yet, solid, something that you're doing month after month after month. If someone is not at that place yet, and they might just be getting started, they're watching this, what is it you'd want to say to them?
Man, I would just say to have realistic expectations and back that up with the action. So what I mean by that is if you want to build a successful business, what do people who build successful businesses do, right? Because success leaves clues. So that's something that I picked up on. My mentors taught me, I saw things that they did. I knew that they invested in coaching. I knew they invested in training. So that's evidence. Success leaves clues. I knew I needed to do that thing. Yeah. So really just be honest and clear with your expectations and making sure that you're backing that up with the actions that are required to achieve the result. So if it means investing in a coach, if that means, investing in a course, or maybe it's showing up and doing those live videos when it just feels so uncomfortable. If that's what you see that the people who are seeing success they're doing, you may want to follow suit. Success leaves clues, and just have realistic expectations and match those with action.
Powerful, powerful. I want to take that a little bit further. The concept of expectations, because this is a discussion I had not too long ago, that one of the issues in the industry is that persons get in and they believe that, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be a millionaire, right? I just need to sign 2 people and they're going to sign some, big dogs, and it's just going to be easy sailing from here. And when that doesn't happen, this thing doesn't work. Right? This is a common thing. And that is why there's so many persons who have gotten in the industry and have left and just have so much bad things to say about the industry, but they really didn't do the work. So I've always said that first call, people listen to this very carefully, that first call you have with your new distributors is very crucial. Because one of the things that needs to clearly and very, very importantly that needs to be done is that the expectations, they must be properly set. If you are not setting these expectations the right expectations, this messes people up. You have to let people know from the get-go, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Sure, you can get rich quick.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot of work. This is a business. And there is no business that just creates this level of success that people want to create 6-7 figure income without doing nothing at all. Sure, with technology being what it is now, the work can be significantly less, but there's still work to be done. You mentioned coaching. Sometimes you have to go through some coaching. That's still work. You have to take time out, and you have to take money out, and you have to invest in these things. And when you take this money out and you pay for this coaching, you have to show up. You still have to do. You still have to implement. So these expectations, they have to be set correctly. I've seen so many good people who could have become success just fall by the wayside because the expectations were wrong. And so I've always said that first call needs to be a place where a lot of things need to be fixed within that first call right there. And the expectation is definitely one of them. So this is something that I'm going to have to dig into a little bit more at some point. That first call, I might do a training or something on it, but that first call, there are certain things that you definitely need to do. And I've learned this, like you said, success leaves clues. And I've pretty much learned a lot of these different strategies and the important things that need to be dealt with and managed on that call from having read what top marketers were doing. And they were pretty much all doing the same things on this first call. And I said, hey, there's a strategy behind what they're doing right here, right? So that's a big point that you mentioned just now, the expectations. So people, if you're brand spanking new to the industry and you're thinking that you're going to be a multi-millionaire by next week, come on, it just doesn't work that way. The powerful thing and the beautiful thing about network marketing is that there's so much leverage. Once you've built up this team, then life becomes beautiful in that this thing is just working for you. It's just this machine that just keeps going. But before it gets to that point, you've got to dig. You're digging. You have to be digging, grinding away before it gets to that point. And you have to understand that is just how it is. Every business is like that. And it's not even business alone. If you have a 9 to 5 and you're trying to move up the ladder, it's going to be the same way. It is a process. It's just that, like Eric always says, this is a better way, right? This is a better way. Any final words for the beautiful audience there, Michelle?
Ah, gosh, we dropped so much value today. I think final words, I think just overarching theme of, recognizing that it's going to require you to show up, take action, surround yourself with people that can help you learn skills and strategies. You don't have to go on this journey alone. I'm so grateful that we got to jump on here together today. And I hope you guys got value from this. You're on the right path. Like, you're showing up and listening to these types of trainings, connecting with people who can take you to the next level. That's what it's about. Don't go about this journey on your own. Invest in coaching, invest in mentorship, and take action.
All right. So you've heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for popping in here. Michelle definitely left us with a lot of value bumps. I literally got bumped here, all over. Right. So I'm walking away with a whole lot from this discussion that we had here today. And I'm very sure that your time was well spent as well, that you must have walking away with at least one thing that made a difference for you. So like Michelle said, just show up. Just take the actions. That is the most important thing. And show up even imperfectly. Just show up and do the necessary things. Michelle, I thank you so much for taking the time out to be here in this setting for us to just be able to share with the others, to be an inspiration, motivation, to help to provide some added value for persons who are in the industry. This means a great deal to me, to the audience, that you took the time out, because hey, we know that you're making money, some shmonies now, and you could have been otherwise minded, but you saw it worthwhile to give us value, and we certainly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.